that Triple Monk
Monk.
was it 85%? Jamie's team when they did that. You know, it wasn't too bad. It was a fun time. I think they were all pandas as well. But anyways, we are going to get to this series here. It is game number 1, Skill Capped EU versus Oldness Strikes. Winner of this moves on to the finals.
Yeah, moving into the finals. Method going to be watching this game patiently to see who does come out ahead. We are anticipating in the blind pick the Frost Death Knight Warrior versus the Rat Warrior. And guess what? We are right. It is going to be that exact same matchup. And although Skill Capped EU did beat Oldness Strikes 3-1, this is going to be an incredibly close series. Very back and forth, little outplays. Who can set up and who can deny setups just that much better. I'm going to be taking a look at some of the gearing and see what legendary car is going with in particular, as I am curious to see it.
All right, here we go. We're going to see Kara, Zipai, Blizzo. Look at Blizzo. He's not even dismounting here. He's just chilling on his Scarab. And here we go. Asgaroth taking a fat hit of damage right there. Has to use his trinket, his wings right away. You can see Oldness Strikes here. Definitely looking kind of young in that opener here, forcing out big cooldowns right away. Now Kara here on that red. Last time around, he chose to kite a lot in this matchup. He's trying to spread out with Nerd Rage for those chill streak bounces. And now they're going to connect onto Tana, potentially grip somebody in. Most likely going to be Kara here. And there we go. There's the stun. There's the grip. Where's the blinding sleep? Nicely dodged there by Tana. Kara as well, dispelling him with that Sanctuary. Excellent play so far from the old man. And now they're looking to set up a Hex here and cleave it up here. Bladestorm coming out now from Blizzo. Nerd Rage as well, looking to get some pressure here in the midfield. Zipai in a Hex. And now once again, going to be connecting on that Shaman. Tana with the Freedom though. Should be okay for now. There's the Spear of Bastion now connecting, but they don't have that big shield streak set up yet. Askarov gets purged there. All his Divine Favor and the Wind Shear almost goes down there. Tana now in a fear, and here we go. Zipai looking to set up here once again. Can he find the shield streak? That is going to be the question.
And he's still waiting for Pillar of Frost. Blizzo's got Warbreaker, though, and they're all stacked up. Nerd Rage dropping his Spear Bastion. Stormbolt on Asgrath, the entire team getting decimated by Oldness Strikes at the moment here. Died by the Sword trades for Blizzo. Big heals incoming from Asgrath. Zipai grips in Tana. They need a big hit here if they're going to pull this off. Where's the stun lock? They're not going for that Syndragosa. It's not available. They're going to have a tough time powering through this. Move cast from Tana, allowing himself to immune interrupts and stabilize a little bit here. Nerd Rage getting swapped back to these teams are looking evenly matched in the lower bracket so far. Zipai just getting hexed over and over. I love these hexes from Tana trying to exploit that advantage. Now Asgrath stunned up, has to Divine Shield. Where's the Shatter? Nerd Rage lands the Shattering Throw, but Asgrath looks stable. Looks like he wasn't actually able to get, maybe he intervened it. Tana, the target, it's Spear Bastion laid down, not finding Tana though. It looks like it missed. It's a little bit unfortunate for Blizzo. Asgrath now once again under fire. If there's a full stun here, he may have to use that medallion. His Hammer of Justice available. Zipai counter engages. Empowered Rune Weapon. Big Frost Death Knight damage. Nerd Rage gonna respect it. Die by the Sword. Tana respecting with Ascendance. Trading effectively.
Yeah, nicely done there. It's a beautiful setup and great denial there by Zipai, honestly. So let's see what they can continue to do. I mean, Asgrath obviously the main target in this matchup. And if Zipai, Blizzo, and Asgrath are all stacked up, that's a great opportunity for Nerd Rage and Kara to just get a bunch of cleave damage out, especially with those Hammer of Justice on Asgrath. So he's going to be trying to avoid those, and it's going to be up to Zipai as well as Blizzo to just keep them at bay for as long as possible. The Hammer of Justice does land. Nerd Rage behind the pillar, though. Anti-Magic Zone does get dropped down. Kara just cutting up everyone. Full Hex on Asgrath. Zipai's in so much trouble. He's getting low. Big damage intervene does come in. It's a Blinding Light, almost an execute range. 5% health. You can tell how back and forth this game is, and now Skill Capped EU's looking to get aggressive. Kara's in a little bit of trouble right now, trying to kite away. He's getting gripped in constantly by that new ability. And Shadowlands from the Death Knight at Abomination's Limb. Just constant grips, keeping everyone in the Blade Storm. All that cleave damage, really, really effective. But now they swap onto Asgrath. And Oldness Strikes, they are not letting Skill Capped EU walk away with this one easily.
Yeah, definitely close call there on Zipai. Now another close call on Asgrath here. He's waiting for that Divine Favor here, trying to keep himself up with the wings. And there it is. Big Save by the Light is going to proc right there. And he is going to be able to top himself up with a couple of Holy Shots, with a couple of Judgments. And now Zipai once again looking to find his target here, looking to set up the next shield streak here, potentially. Kara taking decent cleave damage. Nerd Rage as well now getting Chains Device. And it looks like Skill Capped EU finally going to stabilize a little bit after two close calls there back to back. And now Zipai in a Hex, he trinkets out of it, he gets the grip, blinding sleep right there, and there we go, big damage coming out, but Kara is not in that setup, up. Kara now getting storm bolted. Nerd Rage taking decent amount of damage here, but he should be fine there. Spear of Bastion now onto Asgard. They're going to activate that Blessing of Protection. Gets purged off, but it does remove the effect from the spear, and he is going to be able to keep himself alive. And now Kara once again kiting here, just trying to spread out the damage from Zeepire, trying to not get too cleaved here as these teams keep on pushing.
All right, Tana playing that Honor talent to reduce the cooldown of Hex, so you can spam Hex on Zeepire over and over, try and crowd control him with those Earth Grab totems and get control of his damage. It's so far allowed them to have a pretty big mana advantage at this point, so it's just a minor play that could win them the game over time here. Nerd Rage, Sharpened Blade up, trying to get some pressure out. He's afraid of the triple. Zeepire is trying to stack them up. Kara repositioning away. That's why Kara's playing ranged Ret Paladin right now, just throwing in Blades of Wrath and Judgment from range. He doesn't want to stand on top of the Frost Death Knight. Double Earth Grab Hex. Good combo. Kara's going to move in while the Death Knight is hexed and can't go for that setup. Nice coordination. Asgrath in a stun. Blizzo disarmed. Trying to gun for Blizzo. Blizzo defensively fierce, but Tana gets gripped in. Zeepire is laying waste with that Abomination Limb, cleaving 3 targets here. Blizzo going to Sharpen Blade as well. Really trying to turn up the heat here. Ascendant's not available for quite some time. Kara splits off, though, from the team, spamming some Flash of Lights, building up for Word of Glory. That freedom on Tana, allowing him to escape. And Kara's positioning here, his tactical positioning is excellent. Now Asgrath in trouble, getting set up on. Zeepire defensively stuns, peeling the whole team, and actually hitting Braun on the enemy team as well, who's been called in. This one's been going on for some time. That little robot going to be adding some damage into the mix here. Asgrass almost out of mana, though. If Oldness Strikes keeps up their defense and good positioning, I think they've got this.
Yeah, things certainly not looking too bad. Hammer of Justice lands. Immediate trinket. He does not want to mess around. Asgrath going to be on the run, but they just cannot get this Warrior Retribution Paladin off of him. And with no trinket, super susceptible to that next Hammer of Justice. In the meantime, Zeepire is just getting absolutely chopped up. Asgrath forced to throw out the sacrifice. Going to be taking a lot of that redirected damage onto himself. And if Kara and Nerd Rage, they just have to survive this. I mean, skill cap to you, they're going for it. Big damage coming in. Kara might get caught into a Hammer of Justice, but Asgrath does not want to overstay as welcome. Now Kara's just going to be charging in. Big Hammer of Justice. Asgrath has to hold on just a little bit longer. Nerd Rage going down at the same time. Both these teams just putting out massive amounts of pressure. And now, skill cap to you, they really wanted to go aggressive there. Or Oldness Strikes really wanted to go aggressive onto Asgrath, but skill cap to you was able to deny them with counter pressure of their own. Onto Nerd Rage. Zeepire still getting low on the run. Just running and hiding with Asgrath. But Asgrath, he's got no tools left to work with. Oldness Strikes is looking good here.
Yeah, Zeepire is still very, very low. Asgrath, almost no mana left. Has to use his Divine Shield there on the Hammer of Justice. Nerd Rage now could be in a little bit of trouble here, but Zeepire is just kiting, dropping out the Chains of Ice here onto the Warrior and just line of sighting here. You can tell that they're very, very scared on the side of skill cap EO. Look at Blizzo now taking a massive chunk of damage there from the wings of Kara, and they're just chilling in the Earthen Wall Totem. Here we go. There's the fear onto Tana, but I do believe that was a preempt. No, he gets Sanctuary out of that one, and here we go. Spirit Bastion, triple grip. This is the big shield streak setup. They need to get something here on the side of skill cap EU to remain in the game. Asgrath basically completely tapped at this point. Tana dropping out heal after heal, just bombing heals now. And Blizzo dropping low. Has to use Die by the Sword. Kara playing ranged Ret Paladin now once again here. Just wants to spread out, and Blizzo's Die by the Sword is finally going to run out. Tana looking for some hexes. Not going to be able to find him right now. Kara just being off here at this point, and Braun once again in the battlefield looking to charge in and lay waste to skill cap EU here as they look to make their last push.
Asgrath has absolutely 0 mana remaining. Oldness Strikes just need one more advance. I think they're going to close it, but they're reluctant. They don't want to throw. Their defenses are also somewhat limited, but if they allocate it properly, they've got more than enough. But Asgrath regenerated some mana. He's got a little bit over 10% now. That could be enough for them to take the game. This is tense, 8 minutes in here in game number 1, the lower bracket final. Winner goes to the finals in Europe, and the loser will be out in 3rd place. Triple fear by Nerd Rage. Big setup here by Oldness Strikes. Tana goes for the Aura Mastery Hex. Excellent execution. Blizzo rallies in defiance to stay alive just a little bit longer, and it will be just a little bit that he needs. Nerd Rage falling behind. Trades Die by the Sword. Tana uses Ascendance to keep his team aggressive, and it's go time. Zeepire getting cleaved down by the Blade Storm of Nerd Rage. Asgrath gets purged, sheared on his big heal. Tana is making play after play in this game. You don't normally get to highlight the Resto Shaman, but he is definitely carrying game number 1 with all this crowd control. Another Hex casted, and that is it. Tana, in my mind, MVP here. We just usually flame the healer like you died. It's the healer's fault. And you don't really talk about like healers being like the thing. But in that game, like all the roots, all the hexes, that purge kick at the end, popping the cooldowns to get his team aggressive, like that was a healer carry. Give some healers some love.
Especially as well when he's playing something that's like not quite his favorite. It's kind of the Holy Paladins dominating AWC so far in this first cup. And yeah, you're totally right. Tana coming in hot on that Restoration Shaman. Oldness Strikes getting that game number 1 victory. And I this is an amazing start for these guys, Zico.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, Tana going for that short hex talent has been so beautiful. Look at him faking the kicks here, goes for the aura mastery kick, drops the earthen wall totem. Everybody is just doing super fine here on the side of Oldness Strikes. And there's the bop. And look at this, in about 5 seconds, Asgard's gonna go for that divine favor, which gives him immunity to interrupts, but he's gonna get purged on it and kicked. Here we go. He's going for it right there, and there it is, purge kick from Tana. And the pressure is just immense here. Nerd Rage gonna be blade storming here shortly as well with that legendary, and Blizzo here doing what he can to survive at this point, but Kara just has too much damage to Asgard there to handle, and that is going to be the win for the Oldness Strikes. And imagine this, we could have a Shaman and a Disc Priest team going in the finals.
You think Chaz would play Priest in that series if that's the...
Oh, no way. But,
yeah, no way.
To get there, in a way.
Okay, to get there.
It counts.
It counts.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Shamans are real when they have rets. I mean, I feel like a retribution.
If there's a paladin on your team.
Yeah, if they have a paladin on their team, they could play too. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, we did see in North America yesterday the team of the boys, Space Station Gaming. They played the same. They played Ret Warrior, but they played it with a Holy Paladin instead. And I got to talking with them a little bit, and I think we might see some Shaman from them as well. We'll have to wait and see, but I think the Shaman actually fits really, really nicely in this composition. It gives you the offensive purges, wind shear, now spammable hex. It just seems really, really strong. And Oldness Strikes, like I said, there are more than a match here for Skill Capped EU. This is a great composition for them. And I'm curious if Skill Capped EU decides to actually mix it up. They're going to Tolvaron Arena. Are they actually going to go with the Fire Mage Elemental Shaman? Because I do remember, I think it was the last time they met, they actually did play that matchup. Yeah, they did play it on Tolvaron. They were comfortable enough. It's enough space where Maro can kite around on that Fire Mage. So that might be what they're trying to set up here. And I would expect that it is.
All right, Oldness Strikes, about 30 seconds left to pick their composition. Do we think that with this with Tolvaron Arena as their map, Supatis, they opt to stick with that melee cleave?
I don't know what else they'd play. Like, legitimately, what? Like, other than playing a DK themselves, which would be risky blind locking. I don't think you can do that. Like, they could maybe Windwalker Ret. We saw if Nerd Rage has a Windwalker all, or Nixie wants to play Windwalker. We saw Windwalker Ret a lot in North America as a substitute for the Warrior, so that they can port away from the AoE from the Death Knight, and that seemed to be more effective than the Warrior that was kind of just stuck in it. But I feel like they're just going to do the same thing. I'm just wondering, maybe. I mean, Windwalker would be. I think Windwalker might be like a heads-up pick, maybe. They're past the timer at this point, so they're really thinking about it. They're definitely worried about the Mage Ellie, I think. But okay, they're both locked in. Same thing. I really don't think.
Or something.
I don't think Oldness Strikes is gonna change anything. They got to keep with this comp.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it works out for them. Going to be going to Tolvaron Arena. Maro Zigai going with that classic Fire Mage Ellie. Oldness Strikes sticking with that Ret Paladin Warrior here. What are these setups going to be looking like then, now that we're going to a larger map on Tolvaron?
Well, normally when you're playing this composition, playing against this composition as a Fire Mage, it's rough. I mean, the Warrior and the Retribution Paladin, they're able to sit on you with the backup of the Shaman who can purge and ground. It's a lot of consistent damage on the Mage, and it really prevents him from getting combustions quickly. But on this large map, what Maro can do is he can use a lot of Scorches, do the run casting, pull them out into the open, and allow Zipa to get hexes and basically bully Tana, landing hexes of his own and setting up Maro. So Maro's not nearly as reliant on actually having to get crowd control. He's got the Elemental Shaman to kind of do that for him. When he does get it, that's when you can combust. You can get Divine Shield really, really quickly with the strength of that combustion. and you can kind of strike back. So on the large map, I think this is a great option. On the smaller maps, I don't think it works nearly as well. But still, I think this is one of those matchups where either team could win.
All right, well, we'll soon see here. Game number 2, Skill Cap to you, down 1 point versus Oldness Strike on Tilveron Arena.
All right, so last time they fought, it was kind of a close call on Maru a couple of times, but ultimately the game went kind of deep into damp, and Skillcat EU was able to win by forcing out the Dispel on Nerdridge, I believe, and then they got that big Hammer of Justice combustion onto Kara, managed to erase his account, and now we'll see if they can set something like that up again. We'll see. Maru right now is just going to be dragging everybody back here, and here we go. Here comes the setup. Maru, immediate Blessing of Protection is the response here. He's going to go for a Sheep Tana with a beautiful grounding totem, beautiful wind shear, and then he's going to reposition, outranging those polymorphs, but that means no heals for Kara and Nerdridge for a little bit. There's the Dragon's Breath. He snipes it on max range. Here we go. Combustion onto Kara, Lightning Lasso. A big setup there, but Kara going to use his Trinket and those Words of Glory, keep himself alive, and now they are going to be able to weather that storm. Maru activating the Alter Time, ports back to his position there, shifting power as well, resetting his blinks, and now once again, this is scary time for Maru. Both melees all over him. I do think he might have a blink or two here. He's going to use that Night Phase Soul Shape to get away here. Zipai now needs to pressure the team, needs to try to land a Hex and set up that next lasso to get his mage kind of mobile.
All right, let's see if they can get the setup here. With those medallions out of the way, this is prime time. Maru's just farming Combust every fireball, 5 seconds off the cooldown of Combustion. You can see it 39 seconds and counting. That's going to be a big swing of damage. I think Zipai should hold on to his Sky Fury Totem for that moment. Maru stunned up first, decides to break out, double blink in, try and look for a Rune of Power, gets a Poly on Tana. Gonna go for a Rune of Power lasso combo, big damage on a Nerd Rage here. Kara supporting in the backline with Flash of Light after Flash of Light, while Tana is polymorph. Nerd Rage charges in, disrupts the fireballs, and now Zipai gets interrupted by Tana. I love the teamwork of Oldness Strikes, the way they coordinate together, and Kara supports when Tana can't heal, and then Tana breaks up stuff when Kara can't. Like, the teamwork and synergy, watch them just move together like this melee blender ball, just totally shutting down everybody while they're moving across the map. It's really good coordination. It can seem scary as a healer against mages and shamans to run into the middle of the map, but with this team specifically and their coordination, they make it look easy. Here we see a lot of damage on Maru, and Sacrifice is forced, but now Kara in trouble. Tana got counterspelled, Combustion available. Are they going to pull the trigger?
Ooh, have to see. I mean, it's available. How are they going to respond? Tana and Kara look like they're playing a little bit safer. They don't want to overextend too badly at this point. Maru, is he going to combust? He actually does. Combust. Most of it gets grounded, though. Just the meteor lands. Beautiful response there by Tana. And I feel like if Tana has his grounding totem, he's got no crowd control on him. That was not a great combustion there by Maru. I feel like that setup was a little bit botched. And unfortunately now, skill cap to you, they're going to have to play it safe once again. But that is the strength of having that Restoration Shaman. You get that added utility to deal with the Fire Mage, that grounding totem, super effective. But I feel like we got to see some cross crowd control on Tana, or at least try to get the grounding out of the way. Or we're just going to see a repeat situation of that, where most of the damage is just negated completely. And skill cap to you is not forced to really trade anything.
Oh, no, Braun is betraying them. He's giving them the combustion back. Oh, no, look at Maru.
Retreat, Braun, run. What are you doing, Braun? You're feeding.
Yeah, look at Maru's combust right now. Zipa's not even attacking it just to let Maru farm as many fireballs as possible. Braun
is inting.
Yeah.
Oh, he disappears right when combust is off cooldown, too. He's like, on the other team.
All right, here we go. Combust is ready for Maru, so he's going to be able to have that big power cooldown. 30 seconds for Sacrifice, though. If they can get something here on tomorrow, that could be big. They were waiting for that Spear of Bastion to get a nice sheep there. Maru kills off the grounding totem, and look at there. That is going to be all Braun right there, forcing out the Trinket Spirit Link from Tana. And now Kara is going to be in a little bit of trouble there with that combustion go, but finally he's going to recover here and potentially look for another setup if they can reach Maru. Now Maru resetting his blinks, resetting everything there with that shifting power. Maru taking a decent amount of damage. Askroth has the Sacrifice if he needs to. He's trying to hold on to it for a little bit. Maru now going for the Ring of Frost, lands it onto Tana. Rune of Poggers coming out here as well. Big damage onto Nerd Rage, but he gets sacrificed by Kara, so he's going to survive that one. And I think Oldness Strike should just go for a reset at this point. They didn't really force anything there. there, and they had to use Trinket Spirit Link in that exchange.
Oh, Kara. Is he going to keep going? Tana's at half health too. Maro's baiting them out in the open with the Soul Shape. Zeepai's got them all out. They're going to swap to Zeepai. I like that. Hit the closer caster. Zeepai knocks them away with a Thunderstorm. Well timed. Maro supports with Polymorphs. You can tell both these teams are playing at the highest level to make it this far into the tournament, battling for a chance at Method in the finals here. And then we see Zeepai lobbing in big lava bursts. Maro blinks in, Dragon's Breath Polymorph, but that's a Divine Toll from Kara trying to scare Maro away. He's not scared though. Combustion, lasso, big hit of damage over on a Nerd Rage. He gets died by the sword, squeaked in right before the hit, but it doesn't matter. Earthshock just almost cracks Nerd Rage's. He's actually just dead through rally parry. He's on 1% remaining health. His rally is about to fall. Tana has to pick him up in a hurry. Kara's helping him out with the Word of Glory. I feel like Nerd Rage is sitting there like, wait, what just happened? Okay, I guess I'm alive. I'll keep going.
Yeah, and he will keep going. And Nerd Rage and Kara once again charging in. That was a go of Skill Cap EU. And Maro's not going to have that threat of combustion for a little while, but that was absolutely insane damage on Nerd Rage. I feel like he actually reacted to that situation appropriately, but the damage from the Elemental Shaman and the Fire Mage can be quite overwhelming, that's for sure. Right now, Asgarath just sitting very far away. Maro kiting away from him. Maro, he has his Altar Time up. As long as it doesn't get purged, he's going to be okay. So definitely a great play there by Maro. You can kind of get into those risky situations if you do have the Altar Time, as long as you know it's not going to get purged off. Because Tana was so far away, he could make that gamble. And Maro now still going to be using that Soul Shape to kite around. Zeepai getting swapped to right now. Kara and Nerd Rage is trying to put out the damage, whatever damage that they can in this match. And if we look at mana, Skill Cap to you, they are looking good. I mean, Asgarath, his mana is still amazing at this point of the game. Tana a little bit lower, having to heal through a lot of this consistent damage coming in from the Elemental Shaman and the Fire Mage. Skyfear Totem drops down. Maro looking for a little bit of burst, but it doesn't look like it's going to amount to too much. He does have the combustion, so Nerd Rage has to be very careful.
Ooh, combustion here onto Nerd Rage. Kara responding there with the sacrifice. Maro actually taking the brunt of this exchange. Conrad's going to trigger. Big push there. Asgarath using that sacrifice. A split second too late right there. And that is going to be a massive cooldown there for Maro Force. That Conrad's is not going to be able to save him. And Asgarath actually taking a lot of damage from that redirected sacrifice. Manages to keep himself alive there with the help of Zeepai. Now Nerd Rage in a sheep. Kara in a lightning lasso. Maro in that rune, looking to get some damage here, looking to rebuild that combustion, and there we go. Big power play here once again from Oldness Strikes, and they force out the Blessing of Protection. Slowly but surely, they're getting some cooldowns here, and we're at 13% dampening already. You can tell here, very tense moments. Kara now getting swapped to by Zeepai. Zeepai actually knocking both melees into Maro, and I think they're going to be happy about that, but Maro actually getting that beautiful Nova there. Nerd Rage now going to reach his target here, and this could be a dangerous situation for Maro. There we go. Tana drops the preemptive Earthen Wall Totem before he tanks that Hex. I don't think they're going to be able to kill Kara through it, but they're doing a great job there. Kara actually using his Trinket there just in case. I wasn't feeling 100% safe. Maybe a little bit preemptive there, but we definitely have seen some of these Reds just get globalized. So Kara with the heads up play there, he's going to keep himself alive. And now Oldness Strikes looking to push back here. Maro does have his combustion though for that next setup.
There's a Stormkeeper and a Sky Fury Totem. This is a lot of damage available for Skill Cap EU that they could pull out of nowhere if Oldness Strikes aren't ready. Zeepai lining up Lava Burst. There's the combustion. Maro gets trimmered out of his fear. Here comes the Meteor. Huge hit on Nerd Rage. Looks like they were ready for it though. Tana got a grounding totem down, redirecting a ton of damage, and that's the coordination I was talking about. That's usually the scariest moment in the game, but it gets shut down. Now Zeepai gets follow-up damage with that lightning bolt. Word of Glory comes in from Kara, topping himself off. Getting back onto Zeepai. Zeepai knocks him away. Kara Freedoms trying to get back on target, running that double Unbound Freedom to get more mobility against the Elemental Mage. A good strategy there, but Tana's in a Polymorph. Kara retreats back to the Earthen Wall, but all of the attacks hit so hard that I'm not sure if it'll be enough. Kara stunned up, survives it, gets a big hit with that Word of Glory, building up some Holy Power, looking for another Word of Glory, gets himself to full health here as Tana finally is out of crowd control. Zeepai in trouble, no Astral Shift. 9 minutes in, 23% dampening. He's trying to retreat away with Ghost Wolf, but that Unbound Freedom is allowing them full connect. Asgarath stunned up, Kara gets polyed away, dispelled instantly. Zeepai pinned down by that Spear of Bastion. It's deep dampening. Healing is tough at this point for Asgarath. He's got Sacrifice, he has to commit it. He's not going to gamble it anymore with dampening. Zeepai stabilizes. Now zapping back, Kara has to Divine Shield, and it's anyone's game.
It certainly is. I mean, getting that Divine Shield out of the way, just so important. Morrow has that combustion coming up. He's going to be able to shred through Kara's HP if he's not careful, so they have to be careful. Combustion does come in. Kara on the run! Meteor lands, but Tana in that Hex should be able to top him off once that does fade. Kara goes back to the pillar. Big Divine Toll there on Zeepai. 30% dampening. Almost 10 minutes have elapsed in this matchup. Both these healers doing okay on mana, but that combustion not netting too much in that exchange. A little bit unfortunate there for Morrow. And now Kara and Nerd Rage are going to be feeling confident until that combustion is up once again. But Morrow just spamming out the fireballs, and that's the problem. I mean, if you go after Zeepai, Morrow basically just gets to free cast. He gets crowd control on Tana. He gets lots of fireballs out that will likely reset that combustion. I mean, this is really scary for Zeepai as well. He's going for the lightning lasso. He gets interrupted. The Spear of Bastion from Nerd Rage and Kara. And Kurt, it looks like they're actually just want to switch up their targeting completely. No longer wanting to chase the mage. They're just going to put out as much damage as they can on Zeepai and basically see how Asgaroth's going to handle it.
Yeah, and they don't have any cooldowns left. That next setup on Zeepai could just be game over. Kara getting sheeped. They forced out the Dispel. Mar's trying to set up here for a big setup onto Kara. He has no bubble. And look at Tana's positioning. He is basically third melee at this point, trying to keep him in range of that Trinket Spirit Link. He might need to drop it right now. He drops it. Trinket Spirit Link coming out. And that is their cue to go now. Zeepai in a big, scary situation here. Trinkets out of the Stormbolt. Kara, if he can get there with those wings, he's got to do so much damage, but Maru is making it difficult for him, looking for the polymorphs. He fakes out the Witcher. He's going to be enough. Zeepai dropping super low here. That polymorph is the only thing keeping him alive. Asgaroth has 5 seconds left on the sacrifice. Zeepai just needs to hold on for a little bit longer. Can he do it? He gets sucked in by the Spear of Bastion. The lightning lasso comes out. A big heal there from Asgaroth, and Zeepai will stabilize. Now there's nothing left on Oldness Strikes. They need to try to take down Zeepai right now. They have no defense. Maru trying to shut down the situation. Zeepai dropping super low there. Battle Master's going to activate. Nothing here. Just the sacrifice to rely on. 10 seconds left on that Astral Shift, and he might need to use the sacrifice just to get to that point in the game.
I mean, he survived, though. They've got defensives. Kara's locked down in a stun. He's in a poly. 3 versus 1 on Nerd Rage. Absolute eradication. Massive turnaround. Skill cap. Pull it out of nowhere. Catching Nerd Rage in midfield in just a moment. When you thought it was over, they blast back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. I mean, Morrow was able to just free cast. He did get that combustion back, and I mean, Nerd Rage, it's got to be so frustrating for them. They're just trying to get to a target, but Morrow with good control, and that damage was absolutely absurd there at the end. I mean, Nerd Rage, he doesn't have his parry, but yeah, maybe he could have preemptively used his rallying cry, something, but he got taken down just so fast in the matchup, and Skill Capped EU with this composition is able to put a point on the board.
Yeah, and
what is that? Go ahead, Zico.
I was just going to say, this was like the all-in moment here for Oldness Strikes. They realized we got to try to take down Zeepai here with this push. Otherwise, it's pretty much game over. Tana getting caught up in that Ring of Frost into the Blinding Light. There's a Dragon's Breath onto Kara, into a Polymorph. And look at that. Erased immediately. Just literally deleted. That meteor. that meteor must have hit him at least like 12, 13,000 right there. Just removed 50% of his HP.
I feel like this is just going to be a difficult series here for Oldness Strikes. If I could predict this, I feel like it's going to go to a Game 5, and Skill Cap EU, they're going to be choosing every loss that they get, if it's just going to go back and forth like those series sometimes do, like we saw in that last one. It seems like all Skill Capped EU has to do is pick a large map, go with that Mage Ellie composition, and then Oldness Strike is going to struggle just like we saw in that last one. I mean, I guess it was kind of a little bit of a close game here, but what do you think about that, Ben?
Well, it certainly was a close game, but I feel like Morrow, Zeepai, Asgaroth, they can't afford to play this composition on a really small map. Like, if we go to Hook Point, there's just no way. I just don't see the composition working out nearly the same way. Whereas on this map, I mean, think about all the moments when they actually were able to get a lot of burst damage and take someone down. That's when Nerd Rage is separated from his whole team. He's being dragged out into the open. Tana and Kara just so far away. They can't work together as a unit. They're able to capitalize on that. But on a map like Hook Point, that same kind of thing does not happen. And I feel like as a result, what we're going to have to see from Skill Cap EU is them go back to that cleave setup. I mean, if we see Oldness Strikes pick a small map, we have to see cleave from Skill Cap EU, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would certainly agree with that. So let's say that they do get that next win here. Oldness strikes, and then it's once again Skill Cap's map choice. They go for that larger map once again. Oldness strikes doesn't seem, from what we've seen, doesn't have like a reliable answer yet. What does that spell for them, Supati, is on the side of Oldness strikes?
I mean, it's not comfortable, but I feel like both teams can win, is what it kind of spells. It's coming down to who's going to play better, who can shut down those Fire Mage moments, who can escape the Rep Paladin or control the Rep Paladin. Like, right at the end, they removed Kara with Polymorph, and they removed Tana with Blind, and they just had the Warrior isolated. And you can see on the scoreboard, the Kara did is the equal healing with his Shaman. So they're both healers. You have to stop both of them when you're going to burst down a target. But when you do stop both of them, they die really fast. So Skill Cap to you, I think, can win, but Oldness strikes have disruption. It's an even fight. I wouldn't. It doesn't feel like this is one-sided.
All right, going into this next game, Blackroot Cold is the map that will be locked in. Skill Cap to you, first team to blind lock their composition. Oldness strikes then has the ability to sort of counter that. And now the question is, what exactly is Skill Cap going to choose now that we know that they are going to be going to Blackroot Cold? Do we have any idea as what to either of these teams are thinking, Zico?
It's got to be Frost DK Cleave for Skill Capped. And yeah, Oldness strikes, more of the same for sure from them. I'm curious to see if they felt like that game one was convincing enough from Oldness strikes that they don't pick the DK, like if they lost all of their confidence in it. But if you just look at it from like the matchup perspective, for sure we're going to see that DK. Maybe we even see DK Windwalker come out of Skill Capped EU. They do have that available, Blizzo with that Windwalker and Zeepy on the DK, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't mind seeing the Windwalker DK one game. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all.
All right, timers run out. Let's see what they decide to go with here.
Oh,
All right.
they've definitely lost their confidence in the DK.
Okay, Skill Cap to you. Locking in Fire Mage Ellie once again on Blackroot Cold. Oldness strikes now to respond. And I wonder how this next map is going to go with Maro and Z-Pipe going back to those Caster Cleaves. Caster Cleaves, Asgarath still remaining on that Holy Paladin. And, both these teams so far, bit of a trade-off here. We're seeing lots of these games going pretty close, and it seems like it could really be anyone's game, but I feel like this is just gonna go to a game 5 given how these first 2 games have gone. Super T's. Tana, Kara, and Nerd Rage picking their composition once again. Ret Warrior. How are we feeling about this, Sid?
They have to play that. The only thing could maybe be Nixie Windwalker, but this Fire Mage Ellie might just kind of blow them up if they do that. So I feel like Nerd Rage, this is the comp they need. I think it's the comp that can deliver it. They're just going to have to play insane the whole time, and the games can go on for some time, as you've seen. So staying at that level and making sure you don't miss any interrupts for 10 minutes straight, I mean, that's not an easy feat. Or overcommitting to the wrong target when you should have been hitting something else, and paying attention to little things. Did Maro block a crowd control to do damage? There's so much to be aware of when the game is playing out like that. And if you're not, then you lose out on those little advantages over time, and you just get crushed later in the fight. So I think either one of these teams can take it right now, and I'm very excited to see how it plays out here on a smaller battlefield.
Yeah, I am as well. Do you think that we're going to see any of that crowd control that we saw from Tana, as you coined it, Super T's? He was the MVP of that first game. Is he going to be able to pull any of that off here on Blackroot Cold?
Well, he's kind of sad face shaman right now, because in that first game, no one can remove Hex. Like Death Knight Warrior and Paladin can't remove Hex, so he can Hex all day. But Z-Pi playing Elemental Shaman and Maro playing Mage can both remove Hex. So there's never a time where Tana's like, oh, I can Hex something. So it completely removes that utility that he would be bringing on Shaman to have double D curse. Tana's main objective is just cooldown calling, interrupting crowd control, staying with his team so they can help him with crowd control. And that's basically it, I think, in this for him.
All right, would love to see him try and pull that off again here. We've got both compositions locked in here. Now it just seems like they're taking their time a little bit as they get these teams ready to go here. These moments in this series, super crucial. Loser of this knocked out of the tournament. Winner moves on to the European finals to face off once again against Method. If it's skill capped, as that would be a rematch here for today. The game has already started. 40 seconds in. Here we go.
Yeah. There we go. Let's see. Can Skillcap DU pull it off on a smaller map? What is Oldness Strikes going to be able to get done? They have to play so consistent in this match. Avoid getting one shot. Really, really pay attention to Morrow and his combustion. That's going to be the heavy hitting moment. Triple Fear comes in. They're looking to set up on Tana. Let's see if they can actually get anything done. I feel like he should be okay. That was combustion, and Tana does manage to survive. Good peels there coming in from Nerd Rage. Preemptive rallying cry. He managed to get the intervene to reflect and avoid a lot of damage. Now it's going to be Morrow who has to basically reset, try to get that combustion back. And Oldness Strikes has an opportunity to kind of strike back here and start getting some pressure rolling.
Yeah, Morrow now actually has no Triune Ward, so he's going to be taking a lot of damage here. Kara getting dispelled there, and this is a big moment here. Might need to be the sacrifice from Asgrath. They're going to have a decent amount of uptime there. Morrow finally able to blink out of that stun lock there, and now Nerd Rage still all over him here. Kara actually doing a bit of a split strategy here, hitting Zipai a little bit, getting some extra holy power, and then they're going to hex him out of that one. Morrow with the quick dispel though, he's going to be able to remove that one. Double Dragon's Breath, there's the alter time, and now Morrow, line of sighting Tana, the only guy who can purge his alter time. He's going to force both melees to go off of him, and now they're going to commit a little bit here onto Zipai. Looks good so far for them. Now Nerd Rage wants to keep going here onto Morrow. Morrow, once again, with the blink right there, is going to be able to survive from that Stormbolt for now, but if Kara connects onto him, it could be lights out in a matter of seconds.
All right, matter of seconds indeed. Let's see if they can set it up here. They're chasing Morrow. Oh, Morrow pre-blinking that Spear of Bastion. Clutch play by Morrow. They're trying to go after Asgarath a little bit on the small map. Stunning him. Nope, now back on Morrow. Morrow soul shapes. Oh, that was a big hit of damage from that final Reckoning. Kara really ramping up, but combustion available. Let's see what Morrow can get done here. Who are they going to go after? It looks like Kara at the moment. Asgarath chased Tana. They won with that Blinding Light. If Asgarath can get Blinding Light on Tana, it could be devastating. Nerd Rage charges over to Morrow. Morrow deflects with the Dragon's Breath, stalling. They stun Nerd Rage on the Dispel. Clutch Dispel punished there by Asgarath. Nerd Rage immediately trading die by the sword. Insane timing by Asgarath.
Yeah, nicely done. Morrow now once again on the run. Great plays by Oldness Strike so far to stay alive and not really use any defensive cooldowns. Nerd Rage, he's traded basically his entire defensive arsenal, but Tana and Kara should be able to back him up as long as he doesn't overextend and get too far away. About 3 minutes have elapsed into the game right now. Morrow still with his Ice Block. Asgarath still sitting pretty in terms of mana. And this is just going to be one of those games where Oldness Strikes, they just have to hold on. I mean, we could see Morrow get one shot when the Avenging Wrath is up for Kara, but for the most part, it's going to be about consistency, just staying alive, trying to wither down the mana bar of Asgarath. Now Kara getting swapped to, big Dragon's Breath from Morrow. Big damage from Zipai there, setting up his team. He gets the Hex, and that's the thing. I mean, you go after Morrow in this matchup, it allows Zipai to get a lot of casted damage, and also go for those hexes onto Tana, and that's when they can really start capitalizing on that. So it's a difficult matchup for Oldness Strikes because basically if they go after Morrow, they leave Zipai open. If they go after Zipai, they leave Morrow open. And so far, leaving Morrow open seems to be the more devastating choice as they decided to just kind of train him down in this match.
Morrow actually surviving that situation without having to use any cooldown there. A lot of uptime there from the Warrior and the Ret, but Zipai backing him up beautifully with those off heals right there. You know, Zipai is the closest target to the pillar. You're going to get a Hammer of Justice there to punish the Dispel. Zipai taking a lot of damage, and Morrow snipes that invisible Ring of Frost right there. And now they're looking to set up here onto Tana potentially. Let's see what they get done here. If they can get a sheep onto Kara, they can definitely stun Tana and go for it. But instead, Asgarath going to take this time to sit down for a drink here. Excellently played by him. Zipai looking for the heals here, and he gets wind sheared on it. Morrow in a lot of trouble here. Asgarath just sitting down still for the drink. I don't think he's actually able to find it. Now finally his mana ticking up. Morrow might need to trade something early on. Mirror image coming through, and they actually reduce a decent amount of damage at this point with those changes in Shadowlands. Saved by the light. He's going to proc as well. Asgarath forced to use his trinket. He did get a little bit of mana there from that drink, and honestly I think at this point Skillcap are trying to set something up there onto Tana potentially here. No, they're gonna go for the Hammer of Justice. You got the cross crowd control, beautiful sheep, Ring of Frost, and Nerd Rage is completely isolated here, activating his Dive by the Sword very early. Offensive Blessing of Protection gets shattered by Nerd Rage. Tana now finally out of that blinding light. Nice setup there, but it is on that net them only that Dive by the Sword, so nice response as well from Oldness Strikes.
Teams equally matched here in game number 3. Winner goes to match point. Winner of that then could go to the finals to face Method. Who's going to take it? Morrow has been avoiding so much damage. Here comes the setup. Lightning Lasso, Hex on Tana. Beautiful setup. Rally comes in from Nerd. Is Car really going to hold on to Divine Shield? He will. Battlemaster, Word of Glory now going back on Morrow with the Stormbolt. Braun is called in, this time on their side, aiding in damage on Morrow. Spirit Bastion pinning Morrow. Huge pressure incoming from that Kyrian robot as well. Will Morrow be able to survive the onslaught as Asgarath has to make a tough decision? Does he Blessing of Protection? Does he sacrifice? He's running out of time to make that choice. Morrow avoids damage, but yes, Asgarath's hand is forced, quite literally, trading sacrifice to redirect damage. Now Morrow should stabilize. Zeepai and Morrow should start posting up aggressively. Will they find crowd control? Tana's at midfield. Zeepai is sneaking up on Tana. Who's going to get the better one here in terms of Hex? Zeepai's trying to find it.
Big damage here from Kara. This is the Avenging Wrath. Let's see what they can get done. Trying to go after Zeepai, but he gets caught into a Lightning Lasso. And Morrow going for a Meteor, just a Rune of Power Meteor. No combustion going to be used just yet. And now Morrow actually has that combustion available. Probably going to want to pair it with a Meteor, so I don't expect to see it for another 25 seconds, but that's the big hit Skill Cap DU does have available. Morrow getting almost taken down there by Nerd Rage. Kara doing a little bit of damage as well. Now caught into the Stormbolt. Needs some big healing here by Asgarath. And it will be the Avenging Wrath from Asgarath to empower his healing. Blessing of Protection does get traded out, but great job so far by Oldness Strikes to continue the pressure and really force Skill Cap DU into these defensive situations. Mana could be a win condition. They're going after Kara just a little bit. Morrow uses a combustion, but where's the damage to follow it up? No Meteor was committed there. I feel like they could have been a little bit more patient. And now Oldness Strikes, I mean, once that combustion threat is gone, they feel very confident to continue this push, try to get that pressure rolling, and just chase down Morrow on this smaller map.
Yeah, and this smaller map is backfiring pretty hard so far. Asgarath sitting down for the second drink of the game, able to recover about 35% of his mana right now, and we are at about 20% dampening, and they got the mana lead on the side of Skill Capped EU due to those plays. Asgarath's gonna have his sacrifice rotating back up. Morrow in a lot of danger right now, but he should be okay there. The Triune Barrier gonna be active for him. He's gonna drop a Ring of Frost on top of himself. He should have a Blink as well after that. Oh, big spear here. Activates Dragon's Breath. He procs. Big damage coming out there from Kara. Proccing that Cauterize, finally getting themselves a big cooldown. And here comes Braun looking to go after Zeepai a little bit here. Nerd Rage and Kara still doing what they can here, chasing down Morrow on that mage. Tana now in a polymorph, and that means it is time to retreat. Nerd Rage, they got the cooldown there.
Braun.
Cauterize, but here we go. Tana left behind here, taking a lot of damage, forced to use his trinket and the Astral Shift right there. And that's what happens if you retreat. You're gonna leave your healer exposed like that in the middle. And Skill Capped EU strike back there after they forced the Cauterize on the side of Oldness Strikes.
Oh, sacrifice available. Asgarath has to make the choice when to activate that. They've got Combustion to counterattack as well. Morrow's just stalling right now, trying to crowd control. Tana and a Lightning Lasso. Are they going to pull the trigger on the Combustion here? There's no Medallion. Surprising to not see them want to commit. Morrow was interrupted, putting him a little bit behind on that potential swap to Tana. Tana's mana is not looking good. If Skill Capped EU just max their damage, but at the same time, Morrow falls behind. Asgarath trades sacrifice to reduce that incoming damage significantly. Zeepai is still chasing Tana. It looks like they do want to kill the Restoration Shaman, knocking Tana off the pillar with that Thunderstorm. Grounding Totem gets killed off. Morrow sets up a Ring of Frost. Tana can't retreat back to the pillar from that Ring of Frost. He's trying to run around it and avoid it, managing to. Morrow now caught in a stun. Zeepai interrupted. Asgarath needs to bomb in big heals right here, but how big are they at dampening at 28%? This is really hard for Asgarath.
It certainly is. I mean, Nerd Rage and Kara, their uptime is really high right now. Hammer of Justice on Asgarath. Morrow gets interrupted. He's taking huge damage. He's trying to go for counter pressure with the Combustion. There's no more options to run away. He has to force them back with damage, and he does. I mean, right now, the side of Oldness Strikes is forced to run away, but as soon as they recover, they're going for it. They're going for it once again. I don't think Asgarath's going to have much of an opportunity to sit down for a drink. As long as Nerd Rage and Kara can keep this uptime up, Morrow might just get taken down. Asgarath just bombing out the heals, trying to keep him alive. This could be the Divine Shield as well, but Morrow, with beautiful kiting, is able to get away. Drops a Ring of Frost as well. Kara's going to be stuck in that. Once he gets dispelled, that crowd control is going to hit Morrow with beautiful kiting. The Night Fae paying off for Morrow, able to use that Soul Shape, and he is just 2 minutes away from getting that Ice Block up. It could be even shorter if he's able to use his Night Fae ability to reduce the incoming cooldown. Hammer of Justice now on tomorrow. Blessing of Protection once again comes in from Asgroth, just trading out whatever defensives he can in order to give his team an opportunity to stay alive. Big Meteor lands on Nerd Rage. Gets soaked there. Unfortunately, not enough damage. Nerd Rage able to survive and continue this unrelenting push on tomorrow.
Oh, Nerd Rage now in battle stance, looking for the Blade Storm, looking for the damage. If he can reach his target there without using his charge, he's going to be in a great spot. Freedom here needs to get purged, or they need to answer with their own Freedom to allow Nerd Rage to get the time that he needs here on his target. Nice Stormbolt is going to allow him to sit on his target for a little bit longer. No sacrifice for one more second. Asgraf immediately using the sacrifice as soon as it comes off of cooldown. Zeepai getting cross windshield here by Tana as well, doing a great job harassing him. And here comes the Stormkeeper. Here comes the damage. They kill off the Sky Fury Totem. Big damage coming in here. Tana in a blinding light. Nerd Rage. This is the setup. Is he going to go down? He goes down, and Tana can't get the Spirit Link in time. Skill capped EU wins the swing match.
That has to be devastating. That has to be absolutely devastating. I mean, when we look at that replay, they had so many tools to respond to that situation, but in a matchup like this, if you slip up just a little bit, you can just get one shot by combustion, and that's exactly what happened. Very unfortunate for them, because I feel like Steel Cap to you, they were at the end of the line. I mean, that was do or die for them. If they didn't win with that setup, they probably were not going to win the game, but they hold on, they go for it, and it pays off big time.
I mean, these are the final seconds of the game. You can see Kara has Divine Shield, Tana has Spirit Link Totem. They could use these cooldowns to save Nerd Rage. Even Nerd Rage has Die by the Sword. I think we're a little bit further away from the end than the absolute. And so Nerd Rage parries here, but it's not Combustion. So Maro is about to line that up, and Tana or Kara has to save Nerd Rage here. It's going to be a huge amount of damage. Die by the Sword ends. Maro Frost Novas, and he scorches. Combustion gets popped right here, I think, in the next couple global cooldowns. Meteor, Fire Blast, Combust dead through it. And if we had seen maybe a Divine Shield, a Word of Glory right at that timing, it was so close. It's all that, just that 1 second window when that Meteor is down where you're going to lose all of your health. And if there isn't something there to buffer the damage, your victory just slips away. And I mean, they were so close. Asgrath had no mana. Maro had no Cauterize, no Ice Block. But everything comes down to just that couple of seconds, those global cooldowns and the Fire Mage burst. And if there isn't something there to answer, your life just disappears.
Yeah, they certainly were. Said Skill Cap DU taking that last victory, though. Things starting to tip over in their favor, and it's looking a little bit rough on the side of Oldness Strikes here. Going into this next game, I'm sure they're starting to feel the pressure here. Time is running out for them to find themselves back in that European finals position. And like you guys already mentioned, that was a swing match. Skill Cap DU being able to pull off that victory is just setting in stone more and more their finals position to head back through that upper bracket and face off once again against Method. Oldness Strikes is gotta figure something out here for this next run. It is going to be their map choice here, and now I'm wondering what exactly they have left to do. Are they just going to try and do exactly what we've seen them do in this series already, Venriki?
I mean, yeah, I feel like they should. I don't even know if Blackrock Hold was a great map for them. I don't know why they didn't just go to Hook Point. Like, Hook Point would have been infinitely better, I feel like. There's still a lot of room. I mean, if you just use, like, the outer rim of the circle, and we even saw Asgrath going in and sneaking away for drinks, as Zico was pointing out, Blackrock Hold isn't the worst map for the side of Skill Cap DU. I feel like Oldness Strikes, that was a bit of a throw from them in terms of their map selection. I would expect them to go to Hook Point, and I think that's even better for them, but we'll have to see what they decide to line up. Are they still feeling confident with this matchup? The thing is, I don't know if they have anything better. Like, I think the Ret Warrior Shaman isn't too bad into what Skill Cap DU is running. They just have to make zero mistakes, and that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, in hindsight, it's easy for us to look at the replay and be like, oh, he could have instantly bubbled and used a Word of Glory, but in the moment, it's hard to pull that off after 10 minutes of maximum focus, you know?
Yep. Definitely hard when teams are in a position like this, when they don't really have a reliable answer. I mean, they do have one game off of Skill Cap DU, but Oldness Strikes is going to be picking their map choice soon here. A couple of answers to of what exactly they could do. But I just hope to see if they can turn it around here. Maybe get this to a game 5 here, but skill-capped EU only one victory away from moving on here in the bracket. What about you, Zico? Any ideas as to what you want to see them do?
I wanted to see Hook Point like the rest of the desk, I feel like. And I don't know, I'm trying to decide if Blade's Edge would have been a better pick. Like, obviously, the other obvious
For the last
answer.
game?
Yeah, for the previous game. I feel like the downside of Blade's Edge is that you have a Ret and they have an Ellie, and if he gets knocked, it's not that nice for you. So I don't think Blade's Edge would have been the move, but I still think Dalaran would have been a lot better than Blackrook Hold. And I mean, for sure, Hook Point would have been the optimal pick there. So I do think we're going to see Hook Point at least in this game, and that it might be enough to take us to a game number 5. And if that is the case, we're probably going to go somewhere large, like Ashamains, or has Imperial Domain been played? I don't think so, right?
Nope.
So it's also an option
Mysterious.
for skill capped if we do get to a game 5.
Mm-hmm. Which is just going to, spell difficulty for Oldness Strikes again. I mean, they've been playing these melee classes, which, as we know, struggle a little bit on those larger maps, like we did see in Tolvaron. So yeah, it's quickly running out of options here. It looks like they're taking their full time here to choose what they want to do. So maybe we have an answer soon as to what these guys have picked, but they certainly are talking through it here. I guess they're really taking their time because, like I said, loser of this next one dropped out of the tournament. Hook Point is the map we'll be going to, though. Nice predictions, guys.
Yep. It's our job.
Stickers for us.
Yeah, where are the stickers?
Yeah,
where are the stickers?
Yeah.
Are we starting that again?
I don't know where those are. I have no idea. I have no idea where my stickers are.
Come on, I have one job.
You guys predict the maps. I supply the stickers. Is
Exactly.
that the dynamic here? Okay. All right. And then I'll have to get some. Go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say, I'm curious. Skill cap to you. Are they gonna do it? Are they that confident in the Fire Mage Elemental Shaman? That was such a close game. Both those games just so close. They're actually
Yay!
Boomkin. Super D's is so happy. You know what, Super D's? I am happy.
Boomkin.
I am happy for you. Do you think
Are
we're gonna
you?
see the Guardian Druid?
Convoke? Oh,
Are
please
we gonna
don't
see the
do
Guardian
this to
Druid
me.
legend?
No. It's not even close to as good as the Paladin one. There's no way it's worth losing. You get so much damage. Just
You think
play
Marl's gonna
balance
play
of all
Convoke
things.
or Kyrian?
I think Convoke is risky against Shaman because Grounding Totem can you just put it behind the pillar and it redirects the whole Convoke. So I don't know, actually. Maybe, just YOLO Convoke. Because if you lose, you go Mage Ellie on a big map. So just play Convoke so the other team is like, oh my god, like, he's going to Convoke, we're going to die, Like, you just play it and never press it, hope they make a mistake, and then just, like, YOLO it out after 8 minutes to just kill their whole team. I actually think you should play Convoke, just in this game, just because it's so much damage. If they make a mistake, it's game over and they move on. But if you lose, oh well, game 5, Fire Ellie, like, we're happy with that too. So I feel like Convoke would be better for them. You can't Word of Glory a full moon if it does 100% of your health. So it's going to be a good choice.
All right, Oldness Strikes shortly running out of time here to choose their composition. They are so close to being knocked out of this tournament. Hook Point was their map choice, so we have to assume that they have some sort of plan here. But even if they are sticking with that same composition, it's very clear that they are using their full timer to decide what exactly their move is going to be against Skill Cap DU. They are going to be doing that Ret Warrior composition once again, where they're going to be trying to find those moments of opportunity, Zico, to get a setup on Skill Cap DU.
I think we're going to be looking at a game of hunting down the Moonkin. And I know Sid doesn't like hearing it, but I do think we're going to have a nice Ret and a nice Warrior trying to sit on that Boomkin as much as possible. And we're probably going to go to, Dampen Land. And I don't know. At that point, somebody's getting one shot. Is it going to be the Boomkin? Is it going to be the Ret? Is it going to be Nerdridge? Who knows? Maybe the full moon hits the Shaman. We really won't know.
I think one adaptation we're gonna see is the Nerdridge is gonna go Venthyr. I think just get rid of the Spear of Bastion and go Venthyr for the condemned damage. It's gonna be really effective against the Balanced Druid and the Elemental Shaman. So maybe Oldness Strikes. This is the composition they wanted to run all along, but they're kind of just discussing, how can we min-max this matchup? How can we try to find a win? But this didn't. When we saw this matchup play on Tolvaron, I forget the two teams that did play it, but it didn't seem too bad. I mean, the Balance Druid and the Elemental Shaman were able to tank a lot of the damage and survive a long time. And you get the feeling that with all that time, there is the possibility that they can find that one-shot KO.
Yep. Also, if you guys want to check out the gear that these guys are running, as well as their conduits and covenants, you can wait until this match starts, so then you can type !gear in the chat, or you can go to awc.gcd.tv and you can see exactly what these guys are running. It certainly has to be really fun for these guys to be able to be on that TR and have the freedom to switch everything as many times as they want. But it's game number 4, Hook Point. Skill cap to you on match point versus Oldness Strikes.
I want to see Wild Charge from the Boomkin. Don't play Renewal. Oh, thank God. Every Boomkin is still playing Renewal and trying to sit in bear form. You can't bear form Ret Warrior. You have to play Wild Charge. You have to be in travel form. You have to run the entire game. You're just in Cheetah, running for your life the whole time. I want to see Maro kite like that. If he kites like that, I think that they can pull this off. He should be playing Wild Charge based on the talents here. So let's see if he can pull it off. They're actually going after Z-Pi, so Cyclones are going to be important. Maro needs to land a lot of them.
Yeah, let's see if he can do it. Maro looking for a Cyclone right now. Nerd Rage all over him, and he did switch over to Venthier. But Maro's just going for a big counter pressure here. Maro forced into bear form for a moment. This is his massive damage on the car. Can he survive? This is the Ascendance. Big healing coming in from Oldness Strikes in order to survive this initial push that Skill Cap to you is throwing. And it looks like they will be able to kind of swat them away back to the pillar and give Asgrath a moment to breathe. But this matchup could really come down to mana. I mean, if they can get the consistent damage out onto Maro and Z-Pi, and Asgrath basically is forced to heal through all of that pressure, Oldness Strikes could find victory that way, but it's going to take quite some time for that to happen.
All right, they're going after Maro. Nice Typhoon. Oh.
It's all good. We got Kara right now getting stunned up here in the midfield, taking some damage there from Z-Pi's Elemental, and it looks like Maro right now is the one who's being pressured. Asgrath now in a Hammer of Justice. Maro getting interrupted there on the Cyclone. Kara with the wings up, and Z-Pi looking for the Hex here onto Kara, presumably trying to slow down the assault, but not able to find it just yet. Nerd Rage now with a beautiful Stormbolt is going to force out Maro's Trinket right there. Maro still has the Bark Skin though. There's the Root Solar Beam. Let's see what they can get done here. Here we go. Here comes the damage. 1 Star Surge, 2 Star Surge, gonna connect onto Kara, and he is going to duck for cover behind that pillar. Nerd Rage now just trying to get some pressure going onto anybody he can, and for now it looks like the mana advantage is definitely going in favor of Oldness Strikes. Z-Pi, 10 seconds left on that Astral Shift. Let's see if they can get some additional cooldowns, maybe that sacrifice from Asgrath. I'm just gonna abandon that push and get back onto Maro here.
Maro ducking into bear form, innervates Asgrath when he's taking a ton of damage. It's going to buy Asgrath a lot of mana if they want to try and play a mana game. Good innervate timing. Maro bark skins the Stormbolt. Good trade, but it's still a lot of damage. Z-Pi is just trying to counter pressure them off, but it's quite difficult with Kara healing as much as Tana. There's the Wild Charge. Maro jumps over to Asgrath, but that might have been a mistake. He brings the Ret Paladin straight to his healer for a Hammer of Justice. Now using Dash to try and escape from the Warrior. Good reposition, but they're actually going after Asgrath. I don't think he's going to go down through his Avenging Wrath. Lightning Lasso, Hammer of Justice, good crowd control. Here comes the Fury of Elune, Kindred Spirits, Star Surge dump from Maro, but doesn't even dent them here. With no crowd control remaining, they will easily heal back up to full health. Mana slightly in favor of Oldness Strikes at this point. Maro activating Thorns, Nerd Rage switching off Thorns, then getting Cyclone. Definitely don't want to attack into Thorns in this particular matchup if it comes down to just damage output overall. Z-Pi lobbing in Lava Burst off to the left here. Maro repositioned in the back of this fence area. Lightning Lasso Hex. Good crowd control between the two targets by Z-Pi. Big crack of damage here onto Kara. Star Surges and Lava Burst hitting hard. Wild Charge from Maro. He's trying to kite and avoid some damage here from them, but he is line of sighting Asgrath. He's now caught in bear form with Stormbolt. Pre-bear form, reducing a lot of damage. Stampeding Roar, that returned utility in Shadowlands for the Druid class, allowing him to sprint away for a moment. Typhoon also now baseline, allowing him to knock Nerd Rage and Kara away, but now they're reconnecting. There's the Divine Toll. Huge hit from Kara, but clutch, Kiri, and Vile from Maro allows him to recover, popping that Thorns. Now, if Tana uses Purge to remove Thorns, that costs a lot of mana, and it may not be necessary, so the Thorns is also maybe a bit of a Purge bait. Maro gets reflected on his Cyclone, good reflect. However, he does use the Medallion to get a clone. Triple crowd control, nice setup. That's going to be the Divine Shield. Kara's going to respect that Celestial alignment from Maro. I think it's more than a fair trade.
Yeah, big damage there by Maro. right there. That's a beautiful setup, honestly, and that I believe that cooldown's only 3 minutes, whereas Kara's Divine Shield's 4 minutes. So there's going to be a big opportunity when that cooldown is off of CD for skill cap to you to actually get some burst damage going out onto Kara. Right now, skills cap to you, just repositioning, trying to avoid damage. Maro doing an excellent job in this game. Kiting, Nerd Rage getting interrupted on that Door of Shadows, so just using Heroic Leap to get back to target. Now, this is the big damage over on Maro, and he actually trinketed out of that Reflective Cyclone earlier on, so not going to have a trinket available if he does get stuck into a stun, and that is an opportunity for Nerd Rage and Kara to really lay in and burn through that mana that Asgaroth has. And right now he's actually sitting down for a potential drink if he can. It's going to be up to Tana to make sure he shuts that down. Root Solar Beam out onto Tana. Big damage onto Kara once again with that Lightning Lasso. What can they get done? Hammer of Justice. The crowd control chain is not over yet. Hex onto Tana now. Zeepai really doing a great job. Maro caught into the stun. Kara manages to survive. Maro getting absolutely crushed. And Asgaroth is forced to use that sacrifice to keep him alive, but Kara in the meantime still getting bursted down by Zeepai on that Elemental Shaman.
Some high value wings right there from Kara, keeping himself top throughout that whole CC chain and netting them the sacrifice. Those are exactly the type of wings that you need in this matchup. Now Zeepai taking a little bit of damage here. Maro is going to have his trinket rotating back up. He's got his bark skin. He should be relatively safe for now. And Kara is actually the one taking the damage here. Tana in range to drop that Spirit Link potentially there. He's hovering around the same pillar here. Kara, though, does recover with those Ward of Warriors. Now looking after Maro here. Let's see what they can get done. Hammer of Justice onto Asgaroth. And big push happening here. Nerd Rage all over him. Big damage coming out here. Maro not even using the bark skin there. That is some ultimate greed right there. Finally, gonna go ahead and use that cooldown with the Thorns. And that's gonna mean that they need to go off of him and go for Zeepai. Zeepai with the lasso here onto Kara. And big damage coming out. There's the Root Solar Beam. Kara now trinketing there. I do believe, actually, no, he's just going to get the freedom there at the end of that lasso. Freedom and Tana out. Tomorrow, once again, in big danger here. No sacrifice and no bark skin, but Asgaroth with the wings should keep him alive for now. Both teams swinging at each other evenly.
All right, Zeepai, he could win the Lava Burst lottery and just pump out 5 Lava Bursts in a row and erase somebody. That's a threat that they're leaving open. So every time Zeepai is just going to be rolling the dice on that Lava Burst and someone could just get erased. Asgaroth sits down for a drink. I like the innervates from Maro so far. His utility on the Balance Druid is paying off to get this game into the late game. They're still on match point and they could still win at any moment with that Elemental Burst potential. Zeepai lobbing that Primordial Wave at Tana. Maybe making a swap. Maro repositions. They're going after Zeepai. Now Maro is left open. Maro has Celestial Alignment. His Fury of Elune comes up in 4 seconds. He's fully loaded. A full Astral Bar. He can dump 5 Star Surges in this next Solar Beam. This could be a very scary moment. There's no bubble for 17 seconds. They need to go right now if they want to find a kill. There's the Solar Beam. There's the Hex out of the Freedom. Beautiful. Celestial Alignment gets popped. Tana gets stunned on his trinket. They drop the Spirit Link immediately, realizing that could have been game over. Now they're trying to get aggressive, chasing Maro down. Aren't able to connect. Switch over to Zeepai. Kara gets cloned. Good reaction by Maro. Good trade by Tana, just respecting that cooldown. But Rally falls. The entire team falls to pieces with it. Will they be able to stabilize? Kara's got Avenging Wrath, big Word of Glory. Disorienting Roar from Maro. Jump back over to Zeepai. Nerd Rage leaps over, goes for a fearing Zeepai, trying to stop some burst damage from him. Stormkeeper available. Zeepai's going to look to roll the lottery. If he gets a Hex on Tana, this could be the end of the game if he lands some big crits. Maro knocks Tana away, but he knocks Kara back on Zeepai to interrupt the Hex. Asgaroth looks like he may try to drink. No, he's charging in. Tana in a clone. Are they going to go for a bash? Stormkeeper, who are they going to go after? Hammer of Justice, Kara Sanctuaries, Tana out. Maro goes for Cyclone. Cyclone on Kara, trying to just stall, buy some time, reposition. They are ahead on mana at this point, and in a match point position. The pressure is on. Here's the Stormkeeper. Big Star Surge is incoming. Rally trades for Nerd Rage again. Is the rally enough? Kara down to 30%, running around the corner. Line of sighting. Nerd Rage is soloing Maro. Charges on the Typhoon. Asgaroth tries to pick him up with the Divine Toll. Is it going to be enough? Dragging Nerd Rage to the corner, but Asgaroth is in a stun. Maro's low health. He trades Barkskin. Frenzied Regen. And repositions with that Disorienting Roar while charging over to Asgaroth. Nerd Rage leaps to reconnect. Kara's chasing him down. This is going to be stressful for Maro.
Yeah, no question about it, but he does get away and buy himself a moment to breathe, but not a moment too long. Stormbolt now out onto Maro, and it will be Asgaroth who trades out the Blessing and Protection to free him. 23% dampening. This game has just been flying by. I mean, Maro Still waiting 2 minutes for that big one-shot combo that's going to be available to him. But Kara, Tana, Nerd Rage, they're all looking good. I mean, they have so many of their defensive cooldowns available. I feel like this is working out kind of nicely here for Oldness Strikes, but Skill Cap to you at any moment could still just crush them. Wow, getting really, really low, though. 20% health in that execute range. Nerd Rage looking to take him down. Thorns, bear form, making Morrow very durable in this situation. He gets caught into a stun. Asgrath's going to have to play catch-up. A second Blessing of Protection trades out in just a matter of moments, just back-to-back. And now Morrow, what's he going to do? Root Beam out onto Tana. Kara basically to left defend for himself, but a big shield, and that Shield of Vengeance will be more than enough for him to stay alive. And now Oldness Strikes is looking to close out this game.
Morrow only has that sacrifice from Asgrath to rely on. As soon as those wings run out, he's going to be the sacrifice. Takes so much damage right now. Might need to activate it. Asgrath trying to greet it here. Then the wings are out. That's going to be the sacrifice 100%. No Blessing of Protections. And there it is. Sacrifice out onto Morrow. Morrow, no Barks, no Trinket. Asgrath going to take a lot of redirected damage. He's going to have to use his bubble, combined maybe with a Divine Favor, trying to keep Morrow alive at this situation. Tana actually sitting down for a drink. Zeepai stops it though. Zeepai going to be taking some damage here. Morrow shadow melding into the clone there, and that's gonna be Nerd Rage won't get that reflect in time. He has to trinket the lasso. He's taking a lot of damage, but chooses to go aggressive. Morrow now blinking back with that wild charge across the map, and the next time these two guys connect from the side of Oldness Strikes, Morrow might just die right now. There's the bubble from Asgrath. Is it going to be enough? Doesn't have any big cooldowns to go with it, just the Divine Favor, and he's going to activate it right now. Big Holy Light coming through. Zeepai needs to get the Ophius, needs to get the Hexes here, but so far it's being shut down by Tana. Big damage coming in there on both sides, but Morrow is just getting deleted. One more Judgment. Kara is going to get to his target, and that could just be the game. One more hit, and that's gonna make the game. Zeepai doing what he can to peel here. Beautiful thunderstorm, and he does survive. I can't believe it, Sid.
The clone on Nerd Rage, that Stormbolt was 1 second too late. That might have been Morrow's life, but Asgrath now in a full stun. Zeepai needs to do some damage right now. Zeepai has to carry the team. Morrow is just running for his life at the moment. Can Zeepai carry the team? Morrow dashing, jumping, bobbing, weaving. Nerd Rage leaps right over him. Kara looking to reconnect. They knock Kara and Tana away. They Star Surge Nerd Rage. They just can't get through all of the healing. Solar Beam's not up for some time. Morrow gets pummeled, goes into bear form right away. Stampeding Roar, Shadow Meld on a cast, trying to get away. Tana's chasing him. He's Stormbolt. He's no way out of Stormbolt. Asgrath has to bomb and heals, but 40% dampening. How big are the heals really going to be? Thorns activates. Tana can't purge it. He's out of mana. That Thorns is getting a lot of value right now on Kara and Nerd Rage. Is he going to gamble the purge? He still's got Thorns up, full duration. Here comes the Fury of Elune. This is probably the last dump of the game, but Morrow gets Dwarf Shadows disoriented on his burst. Here by the Venthyr Warrior, Nerd Rage chopping him up. Asgrath in a stun, 0 mana remaining, jumping into bear form, trying to kite and get away, but Nerd Rage has just been all over Morrow. Lava Bursts are lobbing in, but from Zeepai off to the side to try and carry the game here. They can't live. There's no way. They got 2 minutes left in this game. They innervate Asgrath, free healing. He gets feared on the innervate. Zeepai not able to tremor it. Asgrath breaks out. However, Morrow is just absolutely getting chopped. He's trying to kite the entire game. Lightning Lasso on Kara, but Nerd Rage can solo Morrow at this point. Nerd Rage, condemn. Morrow knocks him away at 1%. Hammer of Wrath, condemn again. And that will be the KO onto 2 targets. Oldness Strikes take it to game 5.
It's beautiful to see. I mean, Oldness Strikes, they played that beautifully defensively. I like the fact that Skill Cap DU was able to mix it up and play a different composition, bringing in the Balance Druid, but just didn't seem as effective as the Fire Mage, honestly. And right now, Oldness Strikes, they're going to tie up this series, but that certainly means we are going to a large map, and that is going to be their final test if they want to make it to the finals against Method.
Yeah, and here are the last couple of moments of the game here. I gotta say, Morrow's been doing a great job kiting and surviving up until this point, but Nerd Rage as well, charging him there in the middle of the wild charge rotation, activating the Blaze Storm to keep onto the target, fearing up Asgrath here. Kara with a beautiful Blessing of Protection just to remove the stun and stay on his target a little bit longer. Morrow now is the kind of last-ditch effort, but once again, Nerd Rage all over him here, and he does manage to take him down with those final condemns. That Spirit Link as well. Kara almost getting blasted by Zeepai. Asgrath shortly falling right after that as well. And I don't think I saw a Stormbolt. Actually, no, we did see Stormbolts from Kara, from Nerd Rage, sorry. I was wondering if he actually was playing that double time maybe, but he was playing that Stormbolt. I don't know, keeping up with the condemned charges. I guess he was playing the death sentence, or is it called massacre now? The range execute. I don't know how he was charging that much. I think it was range executes.
No, he wasn't playing range execute. At least not on the. On massacre is just you execute at a higher health at 35%. So he had really good uptime. I was surprised too.
Yeah.
I was trying to was he playing like heroic leap legendary or something? But no, he's just standard 1 charge, 1 leap, no charge execute. I was surprised he was able to keep up. I mean, it's the map maybe, because eventually the druid just hits a wall and then the warrior catches up while the druid has to turn. So I mean, the map definitely worked well for them here. I think Boomkin could work, but they don't need to rely on it, right? They can just go Empyrean Domain and play Fire Mage and just erase somebody, I think. But I'm glad that they experimented.
Yeah, it seemed to work out like decently for them. You know, we saw Morrow start to play that balanced druid last year in BFA, and he had like a moderate amount of success for it, and it's cool to see him bring it back here in Shadowlands on that last map on Hook Point, and I'm looking forward to see if he decides to bring out that class once again. Gotta love Morrow on his Boomkin, and looks like you guys may be right here. Empyrean Domain will be the map choice by skill-capped EU. Oldness Strikes now to respond with their composition, and I feel like it's pretty safe to say we're going to see skill-capped EU hop back on that Fire Ellie composition. What do you think, Zico?
Yeah, I think Oldness Strikes probably taking their time right now, trying to set up, what do they want to run? Do they go with the Ventir Warrior again? Do they go with the Kyrian? What do they want to do here? And then, once they lock in that Ret Shaman Warrior, probably going to see skill cap lock in that Fire Mage Ellie. And then, the game on Tolvir was close for sure. This game is not set in stone at all. I feel like both teams can win, but I would give the advantage slightly in favor of skill-capped EU, just based off of how good they are at setting up these kills. But Oldness Strikes, I mean, in both games that they lost to that Mage Ellie, they had opportunities to win the game. They had opportunities to, make some minor plays that would have changed the outcome. So for me, I just want to see them stop Asgrath from drinking as much as possible. And is there any way they can talent out of Braun as well? Because I feel like Braun is definitely doing more harm than good at this point when they need to run and he's up. He's just like, okay, here's a target dummy in case you want to reset that combust.
Well, the nice thing about Braun is I believe the Soulbind that gives you Braun also gives you like healing when you get low. So it's like another way to kind of cheat death. When you get low, it gives you some extra healing, and I feel like against the Fire Mage Elemental Shaman, it's really strong. But yeah, skill kept EU with that balanced druid, I feel like it actually wasn't looking too bad. I think the major strength of the Fire Mage right now is the Fire Starter, where you can actually reset, or they changed the name of it to Pyrokinesis. Pyrokinesis, where basically what happens is every time you fireball, it reduces 5 seconds off of your combustion. And as a Fire Mage, I mean, it's great, but it makes the Fire Mage really, really effective because you get your big one-shot burst a lot more often, basically every minute, maybe even less than a minute if you get to just free cast and you're using shifting power. Whereas the Balanced Druid, they have to wait 3 minutes to do the equivalent type of burst damage. So you're basically getting your burst 3 times more often, working through those defensive cooldowns a lot more, and you have that opportunity to actually close out the game a lot more often. Whereas for the Balanced Druid, it just seems like it's a lot more televised. You're not, kind of desyncing defensive cooldowns. It seems like Oldness Strikes kind of always had an option.
All right, well, we'll see here if they can close this out. It is game number 5 here, going to Empyrean Domain. Skill-capped EU on every big map that we've seen in this series has done pretty well against Oldness Strikes. They are still running with this Ret Paladin warrior composition here, so they certainly have it out for them, but I wouldn't count these guys out just yet. We've seen this team, this roster do some amazing things here. Even in this series itself, they won the swing match here. It hasn't gone quite back and forth as at least I predicted here, but we did end up at a game 5 here. But it is match point. Winner of this game moves on to the European finals. It is Skill-capped EU versus Oldness Strikes.
Well, skill cap to you. Oldness Strikes going to game 5. Winner of this game will be going. Oh, I thought we were getting into game. Will be going up against the Method. Yeah, here we are. All right. The winner of this game will be going up against Method, and I'm sure Method is waiting in anticipation to see who they will be going up against. But Maro, Zeepai, Asgrath, the burst that they're able to put out with that Elemental Shaman Fire Mage, absolutely devastating. Oldness Strikes. The one thing, we saw 2 games where Nerd Rage went down, and both of those games, it's when Nerd Rage and Kara were separated. So Kara was a little bit scared. He didn't maybe want to go down, but it leaves Nerd Rage in a really vulnerable position where there's no one to soak the Meteor. The Meteor is actually a soak mechanic, so you want to make sure you are grouped up for it, reducing a lot of that incoming damage. And if you can do that, if Oldness Strikes prepares for that combustion by making sure they are kind of grouped up, I think they can survive those goes a little bit better.
Absolutely. You definitely want to be stacking up for those mechanics. And Mara right now, you're getting kind of stacked here. You're going to get that Blessing of Protection immediately. And here we go. There's the setup. Clean Meteor. Going to be hitting Nerd Rage right there. And that is going to be the die by the sword. Actually, not even the die by the sword there. Just nothing really from Nerd Rage. Finally, going to be some cooldowns coming out there from Tana, the Earthen Wall Totem, Kara as well, keeping him alive there. And now Kara and Tana both at the pillar here, chasing Maro. And you gotta love how Maro is using the map here, just running in one big circle around the entirety of the map. Now here we go, Maro looking to set up. There's a Hex onto Tana. Kara's just playing secondary healer at that pillar, making sure that as long as Tana's in that Hex, Kara is not getting cross crowd control, able to keep Nerd Rage alive. And now they're going to give up chasing Maro here and go after Zeepai for a little bit. Maro actually blinking forward here, getting a DR polymorph, and now he's going to be able to reset that combustion cooldown. There's the shifting power with the fireball spam coming out. But now Maro, another time here being an exposed target, big pressure coming out here on Nerd Rage and on Maro. This could be a Blessing of Protection or a sacrifice here from Asgrath right now, holding on to his cooldowns a little bit longer. Maro able to survive here with a couple of heals there from Zeepai, as well as that Triune barrier keeping him alive. Tana now in a polymorph, and everybody on Oldness Strikes just kind of line of sighting. There's a nice reflect there by Nerd Rage, gonna shut down that setup from skill capped EU, and now once again they're gonna be looking to take down Zeepai.
Let's see if they can stay on target. I don't think they can. They're going to swap over tomorrow in the Stormbolt War Stomp, trying to just combo the stuns together, get as much damage out as possible. If both these teams play at a masterful level, it's likely we're going to be going into dampening. However, the windows of time where someone could get blasted are up. Combustion's available for Maro. Divine Toll likely available for Kara here as well. Nerd Rage will lead the charge, putting that Warbreaker down with Avatar. Could be a lot of damage from the Warrior if Kara combos it together here with a Divine Toll. Mara stalls it with a Dragon's Breath, looks for a Ring of Frost, gets stunned up. Zeepai intercepts Kara, but oh, that Spear of Bastion got a lot of value, but Mara doesn't care. Combustion gets popped. Nerd Rage has to trade Die by the Sword here, along with Kara's Avenging Wrath to try and pick himself up with some Word of Glories. They defensively fear as well. Maro trying to catch them in their mid-kill attempt and counter-kill them. It was a very risky move to make. It almost nets them the kill. Nerd Rage had to blow pretty much everything.
Yeah, certainly did. And I like the fact that Maro was just able to rip out that combustion and try to get that counter pressure going. But now, Oldness Strikes is looking to strike back. Hammer of Justice on Asgrath. He has a Divine Favor up, so big heals on Maro. We'll be able to top him off, and Maro still just effectively kiting around the map right now. Lightning Lasso on Kara. Beautiful setup. Blinding Light on Tana. I like this. Asgrath displaying the Blinding Light, so he can go in and he can get crowd control by himself. The Blinding Light, the Hammer of Justice is more than enough time for Zeepai and Maro to try to set something up out of that Lightning Lasso. So basically, when the cooldowns are ready, skill-capped EU can get really aggressive with their crowd control and damage. Oldness Strikes now, going after Maro. Sacrifice trades out by Asgrath. That's a huge hit of damage. Anytime you see that Spear of Bastion from Nerd Rage, it basically pins Maro down. He can't use his mobility to get away. And that's when we want to see the team of Oldness Strikes actually get off that burst damage. They can start netting themselves some cooldowns.
Yeah, and right now the sacrifice is down here for Asgrath, so definitely the next moment they get that Stormbolt and get a double connect, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage on the side of Oldness Strikes. Zeepai looking to load up the Lightning Lasso there. He's got the Sky Fury Totem behind the pillar as well. Maro has the Combustion, so here we go. They force out the Dispel. Where is the Hammer of Justice? Asgrath actually sitting down for a drink here for a second there. Maro getting connected on Dragon's Breath. Polymorph gets interrupted by Nerd Rage. Well played by him there with that heroic leap kick. Now Maro resetting his cooldowns with shifting power. Kara going to be ducking for cover, and they're just kind of leaving Nerd Rage a little bit here to basically be 2v 1v2ing a little bit in the open field. Kara now finally going to be backing him up. There's the spear on the blink. Here we go. There's the wings as well. No sacrifice. That's going to be a blessing of protection instead from Asgrath. And they're rotating through these cooldowns. And Morrow now once again taking a big hit, but Asgrath with the wings ready to respond once again. There, Morrow still not out of the woods yet. Activates the Battlemaster, drops the Ring of Frost there as well, keeping himself alive. Basically going through 3 HP bars right there with the Paladin healing. And here we go. Combustion gets ripped out, but Combustion not doing too much there. Preemptive Earthen Wall Totem as well as those wings from Kara is going to be enough to keep him alive with the Word of Glory spam. Kara now finally going to be ducking for cover behind the pillar. Nerd Rage once again looking to set up some aggression. Hammer of Justice onto Asgarath. Where is the damage onto Morrow? Morrow doing an excellent job so far, kiting, getting the Frost Nova out, getting the Sheep out onto Nerd Rage, and he's going to be able to survive for a little bit longer now.
Let's see if they can keep it going here. Mana advantage, 5.5 minutes in, dampening just beginning. Asgrath drinks to full mana. Nice play. And now Zeepai gets swapped too. They're mixing it up. Zeepai trades. Astral Shift. Might not be enough. Kara can't stay on target. Mara sneaks in for Polymorph. Gets denied by Hammer of Justice and Rebuke. Good denial by Kara. Again, that teamwork of the Oldness strikes to be able to disrupt every chain incoming. Definitely not playing like they're old at all here in this series, looking to take on some of Europe's finest. Here comes a Meteor over on Nerd Rage. Not enough damage to really scare him too much, as he is just hacking away at Zeepai. Kara's just healing himself behind the pillar, while Tana's in a Polymorph, not wanting to overextend. Let them do all the damage into the defensive stance warrior. Wait for Tana. Tana's now out. Time to make a push. Frost Nova. Kara freedoms it. Kara looks like he wants to go after Zeepai, but he's a bit hesitant to overextend that far, so he's going to go after Morrow. Morrow blinks on top of Tana, gets rooted up by Tana's Earth Grab, blinks out of line of sight. Nice catch here by Morrow. Full Polymorph, Combustion, big damage. Nerd Rage trades, Spell reflects a Phoenix Flames, and manages to stabilize. Could have been a close call, but Nerd Rage is on point.
Yep, Nerd Rage responds appropriately, but they get the trinket. And that's a big victory there. Morrow potentially looking for more crowd control. And Oldness Strikes, they're just not going after Morrow anymore. They're switching it up. They want to go after Zeepai. I mean, they still have quite a few defensive cooldowns left. I feel like Oldness Strikes, they're still looking pretty good in this matchup. 13% dampening, but Morrow's going to be able to just free cast. He gets a Polymorph on Tana. Looking for more potential damage and more potential burst here. Look at Asgrath's positioning just so far away. Crucial that they're moving as a unit to actually get away and kite Kara and Nerd Rage on that Ret and that Warrior. Nerd Rage caught into a DR Ring of Frost. Morrow just spamming out the crowd control, trying to basically bait them to go after him, I suppose. And they might take the bait. Morrow with an Alter Time comes back, and Kara and Nerd Rage, they want to get on target. Avatar coming in from Nerd Rage, really wanting to empower his damage here. Heroic leaping over. Morrow, does he have any more shimmers to escape? Blessing of Freedom does come in. Double Dragon's Breath to defuse it. And Zeepai in a position where he's just blasting out damage, looking for a potential hex here on Tana if he can, but Tana with good positioning is going to avoid that crowd control. Morrow now looking for it. And Tana just has to expertly avoid Morrow's polymorphs as well as Zeepai's hexes the entire game, so he can keep his team aggressive, purge off the freedoms. It's just so important, that Resto Shaman utility. If he can purge off the freedoms, it's going to allow his team so much more uptime. Beautiful Spear of Bastion. And Morrow is forced into an ice block. That's a huge victory for Oldness Strikes.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And Morrow gets shattered on the ice block here, taking huge damage, dropping to about 20%, saved by the light. Getting up to his name, Nerd Rage, taking a massive chunk of damage there as well from that Meteor Combustion. I don't even know if they had any crowd control there onto Tana. Just almost killed him without anything on the healer with that Fire Mage damage. And now, once again, Morrow going to look to reset that Combustion here, spamming out the Fireball, spamming out the Polymorphs. You're going after Zeepai here on the side of Oldness Strikes, trying to get a moment here to breathe after those 2 one-shots coming out here from both teams. And now once again, Morrow going to be the main target here. This game is very, very close so far. Zeepai now in a Stormbolt, Tana in a Polymorph. Morrow looking to set up here. Rune of Power gets dropped here. Morrow looking for the reshape. He's going to be able to find it. Asgrath now in a Hammer of Justice. Actually Zeepai on the back foot. Gara a little bit scared here from the Lightning Lasso, already in a healer positioning there off screen, spamming out the Flash of Lights. But Nerd Rage is going to survive and there's the counterspell onto Kara. Gets sheep, gets dispelled into another sheep here. Maru trying to control the situation a little bit, but Maru, he's going to be an exposed target. No ice block, no cauterize. Actually, he does have his cauterize still to work with, but Ascraft, no real defensives here for a little bit longer. They're actually still going after Z-Pi. Bladestorm, big damage. We're on match point. Z-Pi, let's just go down here. Big damage. The sheep comes out. Is it going to be enough? Kara, one more hit, could do it. Z-Pi on 5% HP, one execute, and Nerd Rage is going to take him down, and Skill Capped EU will be eliminated in the lower finals here.
That was such an intense series between these two teams. Oldness Strikes, they did not give up though against the Fire Mage Elemental Shaman. They were able to hold on and find victory on that large map, and they have earned their spot in the finals against Method, and that is a series I'm really excited